Hey, Jeff here with Digital Trends. We are at the Nintendo event in New York City for a first look at the new Nintendo Switch. This is the whole console itself, and you may wonder it actually doesn't look like a console. It looks a little more like a large Game Gear or a Game Boy or a handheld system, and that's because it's both. There's a dock, so it can plug right into your TV and unplug, and you can kind of seamlessly go from one screen to another. You can play on the unit or you can play on your TV, and that's kind of the whole idea behind the Switch. But let's take a look first at the unit itself. This is a 6.2 inch screen, I believe, 720p, so not quite full HD, but it looks pretty good. You can barely see pixels unless you get up close. It comes in two colors. You can get this in just all gray, or it'll come in red and blue, and one representative told me that you can also get it in, choose just two reds or two blues. On the bottom here is the charger. It's going to charge USB Type-C, so not a lot of you probably have that yet, but you will in the future. That is what most phones are going to charge as, and that you buy in the next year or two unless you have an iPhone. Let's move along to the top here, and you've got your power button, and we have volume up and down. There's a couple other ports here that are hidden. We've got a little ventilation here. There's a game card port. This actually does still have physical media. You stick in a little game card. I'm assuming it looks, something like a Nintendo 3DS. And we've got an audio jack, which is nice these days to actually have an audio jack. Twisted here, we've got stereo speakers on the bottom of the screen here. Very bright screen, which I'm sure you'll see. And on either side here are what appear to just be a part of the unit. We've got your A, B, X, Y buttons, very typical. Two controller sticks that can also press in. You've got a home button. You've got plus and minus buttons. And you've got another button which I think takes a screenshot, I'm not sure. And then of course we've got directional buttons over here, which are, kind of can mimic the A, B, X, Y buttons. On the top, we have our typical, ZL, ZR, two buttons, two shoulder buttons on either side. The cool feature here is, if you look on the back, there's one more little button, and this allows you to detach the controllers. Pull on that button, and they just kind of slide right out. Slides out there. And there's a kickstand on the back here too. It's not active on this unit. These are the JoyCons. You can use them both together and just play as you would a normal game with all the regular buttons, or you can use one alone, and you'd use it more like a Super Nintendo controller, where we've got little SR, SL buttons here that mimic shoulder buttons. And it's a little uncomfortable. I actually played Mario Kart like this, and you can actually play pretty well, and you could do two-player. We could have two people on there. It's fun if you're in a crunch and you want to play multiplayer. It's more fun to play games with both. The other special feature about this is you can actually strap on it's just called a strap, and it slides on to either one of these side controllers here. And this essentially turns this little Joy-Con into a Wii remote. So it's got full motion support. It even has a little infrared which can detect distance, and it's got full gyroscopes inside and motion controls, so you can punch, tilt, you can do all sorts of motion activities. We played a couple games that used these Joy-Con controllers. One game was called Arms, and you actually held your controllers like this, and you'd punch and dodge and move the controllers just like that to play kind of a motion boxing game of sorts. And another one was 1-2 Switch, which allows you to have two people, each one holds one of these controllers, and then do kind of a duel or play a bunch of little mini games where you don't even actually look at a screen. You're actually kind of just like standing on the side of each other and pretending to fire, or one was milking a cow udder, which was particularly Nintendo-ish and fascinating. The gyro in this, it's a very, very good gyroscope. You can actually feel marbles we could feel it as if they were inside the game, which is very, very cool. But anyway, I'm going to snap these back off, and there's just a little lock and unlock here. And I'm going to snap them into this grip. It's called the grip, and it kind of turns both of these into a smaller controller. The buttons are a little small. They're not quite as big as you're used to on a regular controller, but it does function like a regular controller in every other way. You get used to the size of the buttons, and then you're kind of good to go. The shoulder buttons in particular take a little bit of getting used to. There's also a Pro controller you can buy separately that's, I believe it's about $80, and that has full-size buttons, more like an Xbox or PlayStation 4 controller that you're used to. I'm going to show you, I plugged these in here. I'm going to actually slide this right into the console here. It might get a little bright for you. And once you do that, you're kind of playing right on the TV. And you're good to go. So I'm going to show you one quick demo here. We'll see if we can just start a race. And then I'm going to transfer to the other way to play. All right, so we're starting a race. This is an automatic racing mode. I'm going to detach these controllers. And I can actually still play the game just like this. This is Mario Kart 8 special edition version for the Switch, which has got a couple extra features in it, one of which is an easy smart steering mode. But if I want to actually play on the unit, I can just plug these right in. They just slide down. Press L and R again. Oop. Press A, and then we're playing again. As you can see, you can slide it in, but then you can go right back to playing without them. And I'm playing again. So just very quick and easy to slide in and out. And that is kind of a quick look at the Nintendo Switch.